Ladies and gentlemen, in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Moses Kuria was on JKL, and there are certain things he said. And today, Sifuna and Kalonzo have also confirmed them. Can you explain to me how Moses Kuria can go to Citizen TV and then make it very clear that Kalonzo Musyoka is the candidate to Uhuru and Rigathi have settled for, and that Sifuna is going to be the running mate?
The candidate for Rigathi Gachagua and the candidate for Uhuru Kenyatta, who is one, is known. And it's one, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. So they'll take you through all this drama, but it's already been decided.
But let me ask you this. What if Rigathi wins his court case? Because he said recently that he's the one person...
Rigathi does not want to be president. He doesn't want.
But he said he's the one person who can remove Ruto.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to be president.
And then we see Edwin Sifuna flying after the tedious tour of Kakamega, Busia, and Vihiga, heading straight to Kitui. And he's being received not by any other person. He's being received by Enoch Wambua. I want you guys to go and dig deep to understand the relationship between Enoch Wambua and Kalonzo Musyoka for you to understand this.
Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has not met President Ruto to discuss any deal about the next elections.
And then after that, Kalonzo then expresses his willingness to engage Edwin Sifuna as his running mate.
So we must fix this one. This is very important.
And I want to bring us back home. Just it's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Would you support that ticket?
Of course, I have no problem at all. I've demonstrated. By the way, I've given you that long expose to tell you I have no problem.
Okay.
But again, it's not a simple thing, yes and no. You have to take into account what I've given you, the complexity of the Kenyan demographic architecture and the expectations of Kenyans from every corner of the republic. So it is not just a simple question of numbers. Yes, I'll support this and the other. I am quite sure, and I can tell you, Sifuna has no problem supporting me either.
Okay.
I have no problem supporting him. I have no problem supporting Gachagua. I stood with Rigathi at the hour of need, all right? And I got my troops to say, Kufa driver, Kufa makanga. And we took that. And because it's a matter of being not just strategic, but being nationalistic. If William Ruto wanted to impeach Gachagua, our view was both of them were impeachable at that time. So if you want to impeach Gachagua, impeach yourself as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. All those three, Moses Kuria's speech, Sifuna's move to Kitui, and Kalonzo Musyoka, they are not coincidences. They are actually supposed to achieve certain political objectives, which I want us to analyze in this video.
The candidate decided candidate, not candidate of choice, the decided candidate for Rigathi Gachagua and Uhuru Kenyatta, the only one thing among the many differences they have that they find consensus is that their candidate is Kalonzo Musyoka. That is why they're just disagreeing on who is going to control Kalonzo Musyoka, who is going to be the majority shareholder in Kalonzo Musyoka Incorporated, that's the whole question that is there. So Uhuru would want to have majority shares in Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi would want to have majority shares in Kalonzo Musyoka, but they all agreed that, like Henry Ford, you can choose any color as long as it's black, that's the whole thing. So you can choose any candidate for them as long as it is Kalonzo Musyoka. Now, Where does that leave my very good friend, Fred Okengo Matiang'i? That's number one. Number two, why, in their opinion, in the opinion of some people, they are hyping up Sifuna so that Sifuna can be the running mate to Kalonzo Musyoka. You know, that's the whole thing. Hype him up, bring him up. But that is okay, which is fine, no problem. Sifuna is a brilliant young man. He has got years ahead of him. But in his opinion, I'm not sure they gave him the memo that they were preparing him for running mate position. They didn't give him the memo. And so therefore, Sifuna is going all over, and especially to the Mulembe Nation, giving them false hopes that he is going to be a presidential candidate. That you heard yesterday, Malala, Cleophas Malala, saying that, telling a lie in broad daylight, that Rigathi Gachagua can support Malala for president. No, he cannot. Because he doesn't believe that Malala has come of age. That's the truth. Number two, he knows he can control Kalonzo, but he can't control Sifuna. He knows that. He knows that. And he is not just about. I think he's lost his deposit once for the candidate.
So who's the best candidate in the opposition right now? And will the united opposition unite, or will they be
They will not unite.
Before we do that, in case you're watching the channel for the first time, take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kalonzo Musyoka has expressed his willingness to work with Edwin Sifuna as his running mate. Which begs the question, where will that now leave Fred Okengo Matiang'i? There's one thing which I've consistently maintained on this platform, that Uhuru Kenyatta is keen on revenging. But there's also something which you guys have refused to listen to, that the main person, the force behind Linda Wananchi, is none other than Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I'm saying this confidently because Sifuna went to Kitui today. Moses Kuria spoke yesterday. But what did you observe in Sifuna's trip to Kitui? Yes, that fixed wing. Sifuna has been raising money from the public during rallies. And he also has a platform where they raised like 12 million, I think, so far. And we know the cost of organizing rallies. Edwin Sifuna was in the Luhya Nation 3 days. Where? The source of that fixed wing. So which means whatever Moses Kuria said could be true. Uhuru is bringing his troops together. So Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's statement is actually meant to achieve the following. Number one, it's a coded message to their supporters. Kalonzo is now starting to communicate. He's starting to stamp his authority. He's now telling them that I'm likely to be the boss. And also, on the other side, Sifuna is also sending a message to his supporters that I can work with Kalonzo people. That's why Enoch Wambua is very important in all this. That's how politics operate. I know some of you are normally emotional, but in politics, please leave your emotions alone. The other day, I told you that Uhuru and Rigathi probably have agreed to support Kalonzo. And that explained Jamlek Kamau, and it also explained Yichopevu being sent to Kalonzo Musyoka. So it's a coded message they are sending. Number two, they want to gauge the reaction. How are Kenyans, particularly Edwin Sifuna supporters, going to react to that statement by Kalonzo Musyoka that I'm willing to work with Sifuna? I'll be following to listen to the speech by Sifuna in Kitui. What is he going to say about Kalonzo? Is Sifuna also going to tell Kenyans that he's also willing to work with Kalonzo Musyoka? That's going to be very important. So let's wait and see, but I'm 100% sure that the intention really was to gauge the reaction. And already, I'm 100% sure they have that feedback. And importantly, these guys wants to create chemistry between their supporters. Sifuna has already locked the Luhya nation fully. What about Kalonzo and Ukambani? Kalonzo and Ukambani, you can't talk about. Then we are now talking of the main block, now the mountain. That's where Uhuru and Rigathi are coming in. Rigathi has been fighting with not really Kalonzo, but with Fred Matiang'i. So which means what these guys are doing, they're creating chemistry so that Sifuna and Kalonzo can work together without any problem. I don't know what you think, but let me hear your thoughts on that. But importantly, it's about the winning formation. You see, Edwin Sifuna supporters might push him to run for the presidency. Kalonzo Musyoka might also want him to run for the presidency. But is it really just a matter of running? No, it's a matter of winning. And winning is different. For either of them to win, they have to agree to a formation which can win. And that formation is guided by game of numbers. And that's the message they're sending to their people. And of course, now, the narrative. And after Kitui, you'll just pay close attention. You'll start listening to the narrative that, it's not about me. It's about the country. Those kind of narratives. That, to remove Ruto, it's not just us running. We have to agree. And Sifuna has been consistent on this. That it's not just about removing Ruto. That, if Kalonzo runs, we'll defeat Ruto. If we have to defeat him resoundingly, very early in the morning. So for me, the statement by Kalonzo, the statement by Moses Kuria, we are seeing the actions today. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.